I've known Mark since we were 8, went to the same school, did karate together, and had the same group of friends. I knew, even then, that he was the best friend I'd ever have. When he met Megan, I was generally happy for him. Of course, we didn't spend as much time together when she came into the picture, but I expected that. When she moved in, though, that's when things changed. Mark was never particularly fit. Not a gym rat, but also not an overeater. Now, he struggles to make it up the steps. Her cooking is really good, he says. I know I gained a few. He tries to play it off. But this isn't just minorly noticeable weight gain. He's gained 40 pounds in 3 months. I've seen him twice. The first time I went, she had made 2 giant pizzas. He ate an entire one by himself, and I suspect he may have eaten the other one after I left. The second time I came in, she had a stew boiling. Not only that, but meat pies with grease dripping down the edges and bowls of I don't even know what. What had me unnerved this time was the way she looked at him as he was eating, leaning in, smiling. Something was off. He's 85 pounds heavier, he told me. I don't even recognize him anymore. His skin is flushed, he's always sweating. If I put my hand on his chest, I imagine his heart would be racing just from the walk inside his home. When I asked him about it, he delusionally tells me that he's just being taken care of. Meanwhile, Megan hasn't gained a pound. One night, Mark sent me a picture of the meal Megan had prepared, a table full of an 8-course meal, and her standing over it, smiling. But this didn't catch my eye. What caught my eye was a book in the back. How to Preserve a Whole Pig. Surely I had lost my mind. Maybe I was thinking too much about this. I stared at the picture for an hour and decided maybe I haven't lost my mind. I drove over at midnight. The window was open. Something was roasting, something sweet yet pungent. I snuck into the house. It was all dark except for the oven light in the kitchen and a dimly lit lamp in the living room. I made my way into the kitchen. On the counter were notes. One said, 230 pounds, optimal weight. The other said, subject struggles to move. This ensures tenderness. And the last one, emotional dependency achieved. She had caught me in her house, reading her notes. She told me, you shouldn't be here. I asked her what she was doing and what all this meant. She smiled and told me that when he reached full maturity, he would feed them for months. She opened the door, and I walked out. I didn't know what to do. I met one of our mutual friends who was a police officer, now a detective, and told him about everything. He asked me if Mark had ever told me that he felt like his life was in danger. Of course, the answer was no. And in a facetious tone, he told me, overeating and gaining weight isn't a crime. I haven't heard from Mark in 3 days. He won't answer my texts or calls. I drove over to his home, parked up the street, and walked in the rain to his house. From the street, I could see the window was open. And the smell, it was unmistakable.